And 3, 2. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Today is going to be an interesting one because, wow, it's been fucking going off on social media, guys, the last few days. Everybody's blaming everybody else. Like, I'm here trying to help people, but I've got to admit, and you know, guys, I do care about everybody, that you're doing good, but some of the stories that have come back to me in the last few days have actually been fucking hilarious. Like, I'm genuinely thinking, are these fucking things made up? Like, people are bitching and moaning about anything and everything. I mean, is it the weather? Good God, like, I get it. I mean, Ireland, it can be soaking all the time, pissing rain. Ugh, it can be a nightmare. And, you know, it can affect your mood, of course. But wow, man. But you know what? I'm not going to get into the stories because I don't want to be, you know, if any of my social media followers are watching, listening, are watching on YouTube. Look, guys, you know, I don't want to be pointing anybody out here, you know, isolating anybody out, pinpointing. But, wow, some of the stories here, guys, unbelievable. And what I want to talk about today is our egos and the savior complex, the hero complex that we all, a lot of us people want, where we want to jump in and save the day, rescue the person from the depths of hell, if that's what you'd call it, which is crazy. And more importantly, where we can trace all our bullshit back. And believe me, guys, I'm no expert on this. I always try and trace back my issues. Like, if I've got an issue with somebody, like, you know, the way we've all got a thing, right? You know, especially like if you're, well, it can happen with family members, but like, you know, I suppose it can really kind of highlight when we're with our buddies, you know, where you're hanging out having a couple of pints or whatever, and all of a sudden they say something and you're like, whoa, and everybody turns, they're like, whoa, what's wrong with Peter? Fucking hell. You know, or, geez, he took that a bit sensitively, didn't he? But there's something that you can always trace it back to, right? And it's not just, oh, well, you know, this just happened to me when I was younger. Well, actually, hang on a second. But what happened when you were younger? Because maybe here, this is where you can solve the problem. So, let's go into it. So, like, I know for me, I'm gonna start with me as an example here. Because I did suffer with this a lot. And guys and girls, I used to go for the most fucked up girl that had, you know, problems and all that, right? Like, she was intense, dark, right? I used to love these girls. And, you know, there still is a bit of that sort of initial attraction for me at the start, but I catch myself, and I have to catch myself, otherwise I could actually fall into the spiral again, right? Where, I mean, I remember I was living in LA, and I met this, she was very cute girl, but very, very intense, okay? And she just screamed problems. I knew she was going to be a bit of a fucking psycho. If I was going to go out with the boys on a night out, I knew there'd be a problem, right? I actually consciously said it to myself one day, and then I just sort of put it back into the back of my head and forgot about it. Like, la 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 la. Right? We all have this shit. And I mean, this girl she was insane. She was insane. Like, I didn't know how bad it was. And you know something? You make your bed and you lie in it. If I went off and I was going out with her, which I was, and she gave me problems, well, hey, suck it up, bitch. Your problem, because you were attracted to this girl in the first place. And I knew exactly what was going on. So what happened was, I was living in LA, and I had some friends come over, visit me. Now remember, guys, I'm living in LA, which is 11-hour flight, so I can't remember how many miles it is, but, you know, look, I think we all have an idea where LA is on the west coast of America, Ireland's right next to the UK, so it's 11-hour flight. It's a long fucking flight. My buddies come over. Now, I'm living with this girl at the moment, right, because I've nowhere else to live in LA. And I'm living there with her. And she had me. Like, I had no car at the time. I was fucked. And I just was hanging out one day, and then the lads came over, and I went out one night with the boys. And she went absolutely fucking mental. Like, she caused a scene in front of all the guys. She caused a scene in front of all the girls. She caused a scene in front of the whole fucking bar and nightclub. Just scream, like literally screaming at me in front of other people. Now, hey, I learnt my lesson the hard way. Because that's insanity. Now, remember, the boys came over and I didn't see him. And then she was and then there was night 2, and I went, fuck you, basically, bitch. I'm going out with my boys. And then she backed off, eventually, but she ruined the fucking night. And then, the next night, I go out again. I said, oh, now I'm definitely going out, bitch. Fuck you. And just to make a point, but I mean, I was going to go out anyway with the boys, but still, it was like really making a point, as in, you don't control me, right? And she was pissed off then. She went with the other way. She was pissed off because she wasn't invited out for the lads' night out. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Now, see, the point is this, right? It doesn't matter about that girl, right? It was a good experience, and it was a good... Well, I suppose it wasn't the biggest eye-opener. I definitely calmed down on the hero saving the day. You know what now? As much as I love my psychology, I can't even remember what that term is. Oh, the hero complex or something like that. Anyway, maybe it's too early in the morning here for me. So, I remember anyway. Where was I? Actually, I'm getting fucking all over the place here. So, like, the problem is that I was trying to come in and save the day. Here I came in because of my ego. Okay, we're really bringing it around now to the point where this is about my ego and tracing it back to a certain point in life. And it's funny because here I'm on about you can trace it always back. Like, so guys, if you have a bit of an issue, right, or you have something that you just can't get over, you can always trace it back to a certain point in your life. And in fact, maybe I'm wrong in terms of, like, I try and trace it back to a certain point. However, I mightn't have gone back far enough. Okay? So for me, it wasn't about a different relationship. It was actually about, I used to be the race car driver. And race car driving is all about fucking ego. Okay? As much as I love the sport, it'll always be a treasure in my heart. It really will. I'll never ever forget it. Once a racing driver, always a racing driver. I feel like many ways I've never actually even got out of the car. Honestly, because I feel like there's many ways I race every day against people. I might be racing on a track, but I'm fucking racing. So that's what I mean about you don't quite get out of the car. And it's all about ego. Like, if you think about a lot of sports are, right? But that's the way we're built. And I was trying to win, be the best, right? I'm better than you, fucker, sort of thing. We're all like that, racing drivers, in any competition. So, like, it's not about being a wonderful, decent human being. It's about I'm better than you. Which is fucking nuts. But hey, I would never take anything away from it. I'd go back to racing in the morning if I had the money and all that. No problem. But the thing is, it's about ego. So, you know, I was saving the day for the team. I was saving the day for myself. I was winning championships. And here's the thing. That never left me. It never left me. So my ego was fucking the size of the Empire State Building in New York. It was massive. Now, not in a bad way where I was going around, like, you know, abusing people and, you know, putting people and being condescending to people. No, I was never like this, ever. But I did have the ego, right? So, for me, even though racing is totally different, it crept into my love life. I was going to come in and save that girl in LA, boy. I was going to fucking save her. You know? And I really, that's what I genuinely thought I was going to do. She was going to come from the depths of, misery and hell and depression or whatever the fuck, and she was going to look at me like I was the guiding light out of the place. And a lot of men have this sort of hero complex, you know? So like, guys, there's two things that have nothing in common, racing versus relationships, like nothing in common, but it had everything to do with each other. Because the racing, my ego got inflated when I was racing. So it's always about us. This is my point, really. Like, they say that in psychology, right? A lot of problems we have, whether you're pissed off at someone else, and I think I've said this in a few other episodes, if you're pissed off at someone else, there's a meaning behind it for you, okay? Like, Tony Robbins talks about this a lot, actually. There's a meaning, like, so if somebody says, hey, Peter, you're a dickhead, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Now, again, this is just an example, guys, but like, if somebody said to me, oh, Peter, you're a fucking asshole. Now, if I, let's say, had a fucking freak out when the person called me an asshole, but they can call me dickhead, no problem, but when they bring up the dreaded word asshole, then I'm fucked, right? Because there's a meaning behind asshole. Maybe if I track it back, maybe I go all the way back to my childhood and somebody called me an asshole for the very first time, and I was in a weird mood that day or whatever the fuck it was, but I shoved it into the back of my head, forgot about it subconsciously, was always there, and all of a sudden, when I hear the word asshole, it means the end of the world. Okay? And a lot of these things can go back to childhood. Like, for instance, I was thinking, shit, and you know what, guys, I still, like, check myself out every single day. I mean, in fact, I might even go home tonight, probably even rethink this whole tracing back this hero complex. Now, I think I'm pretty much over it anyway. I don't think I'd ever go into a relationship again. Hopefully, touch wood for myself. Good God, touch wood. But I don't think I would. Because I understand the problem. If we understand the problem goes away. We don't have to, what would you call it? Dissect it to the last. If you understand the fucking problem, the problem goes away. It really does. I mean, but you've got to really understand it. I mean, it's like Albert Einstein. What is that equation? E equals mc squared. We've all heard that equation. We all know E actually does equal mc squared, right? But we don't understand it. We don't understand that problem. If somebody asked us, right? This is the whole point. If you understand the problem, that's great. You can know all the fucking answers in the world. We can know that all the fucking answers of E equals mc squared in the world. We could all know every single answer in the world. But if you don't understand it, if somebody said to me, Peter, can you explain E equals mc squared? Nope, not a fucking hope in hell. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't even know what mc squared means. Is that a fucking song? That's what I'd be thinking. Vanilla Ice or mc squared. Actually, was that even a song back in the day? Anyway. Yeah, I'm going nuts here, guys. Jesus Christ. But you know what I mean, guys, right? I don't have a fucking clue what E equals mc squared is. But I know the answer. Right? I know the answer, but I don't understand the problem, or I don't understand the equation. Same thing here. Understand your problem, or issue, whatever you want to call it, and that's it. The problem will go away, if it's a problem now. Right? If it is an actual problem. I'm just having a cup of tea here now, lads, 1 second. So, like, my point is this, guys. Our egos get affected a lot. Like, if you really want a relationship out there, right? We're going to close this off. It'll be a short podcast today. If you really want if you really want a relationship out there, our egos can fuck us up. Like myself and that LA girl, right? I was never going to have a proper relationship with her. Come on, it was all based on my fucking stupid, ridiculous fucking ego. My King Kong fucking ego. Load of bollocks. You know? So my ego fucked me up. I didn't want. I actually, honestly, I don't think I even wanted a relationship with her. I just wanted to come in and save the fucking day. Now, she was gorgeous too, by the way, and beautiful body and everything, so she was quite sexy, but still, there's no way. If I was in my right mind, if my ego was out of the equation, I wouldn't have gone near her in a million fucking years. And I know that, like, a lot of women out there too, that you want to tame a guy. Now, I think taming is a bit different, because I think that comes down to our biology. You know, like, there's a part of us, yes, that we want to provide for the woman, and, you know, we take care of them. But there's a difference between taking care of a woman, supporting her, you know, supporting a family. There's a big difference in that versus coming in and saving the day with some fucking fucked up girl or guy. You know, I think it's very important, guys, that we have to be very, very self-aware of that. You know, like, if I went back to the guy that I was in LA and I was with that girl, I do even remember being with her that night. And I went, whoa, I like the girls with problems. But I didn't actually go any deeper. I just went, oh yeah, well, I like her. But I knew there was something wrong with me. I knew there was something off with me. And that was like a red flag in my head. But no. The bigger the red flag I had, the more I was going to come in and save the day, boy. Oh, I was the man. I was the fucking man. And it was traced back to my ego built up over racing for years and years and years. So it just goes to show you that one area of your life can creep into another area of our lives and affect things. So, guys, I think today I just want to say, like, really just to get it out there, that it's incredibly important that we're self-aware of our ego. Like, if anybody wants to take anything from this, right? I'm no expert, you all know that, right? But I have been around the block quite a few times. I'm experienced, I'm self-aware, well, as much as I can be anyway, right? I'm always trying to be self-aware, and we can all kind of go into a state of denial every now and then, guys, you know? So don't blame yourself if you fucking do. But I think it's very, very important that we catch ourselves, and I think if there's one thing to take away from today is ego can fuck up a lot of relationships because we're in it for the wrong reason. And I can tell you now, guys, right? I think I've said it already. If I went back to LA and I met that girl right now, like, I definitely would have wanted to have, you know, sleep with her, no question about it. But there's no way I would have put up with her for a second date, a third date, fourth date, you know. No way, not a hope in hell. I wouldn't have gone near her. You know, it's just, guys, it's not good, you know, it's not good. In fact, I'm even thinking now, like, even the girl I went out with a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, she was a lesbian. In fact, I even think in the back of my head, I even knew that she was, but I was coming in with the, you know, Captain Hero, Captain America, fucking, I'll save the day. I have to think about that one, actually, to be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Maybe that was the hero complex. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But I'll have to, that could have creeped back into my head. Yeah. Actually, no, that was more just, I knew she wasn't into me, and that was perfect because I was a fuck up. I didn't want a relationship, but I wanted to pretend to myself that I wanted a relationship to make myself feel better. And she was hot as fuck. Like, unbelievably sexy. So that didn't that greased the wheel for me to get somewhere, you know. Yeah, so anyway, that wasn't the hero complex. Am I just rattling on? Jesus Christ, I'm rattling on here, guys. Fuck me. Take this away, guys. Our egos can fuck a lot of things up. A lot of things up for in relationships. I mean, it happens every day. You know? And I quite honestly, like, I wouldn't be able to blame any man or woman out there that has got that ego that I'll change him, I'll change her, I'll fucking come in and save the fucking goddamn day. Because we all can fall into that victim, that ego bullshit trap. But if you really want a relationship, be self-aware. Make sure you're going in. Like, I think, you know, and take that away, guys. Think about, hey, okay, I like this guy or I like this girl. Am I coming in now just trying to save the day? Is she a bit of a fuck up? Is he a bit of a fuck up? You know, is this just mental? Like, do I really like her personality? Or do I like his personality? Like, and you know, guys, it's amazing. If you take that ego out, believe me, you're saving so much time. I wasted 8-9 months with that girl in LA. I'm sorry, guys, excuse me. I wasted about 8 or 9 months, I think. And all based on my fucking ego. I mean, I do sort of laugh about myself, I have to admit, guys. You know, it's funny, but it's not, I suppose. But, you know, it is funny in terms of how dumb all of us can be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I was watching a podcast the other day, Joe Rogan, and, you know, Joe was saying, like, oh, you know, like, we're all just, like, we're so close to monkeys still. You know, we come from that, or whatever he's saying. But, like, we're very close to the monkey animal. You know, the gene. I mean, fuck, in general, we are a bunch of retards. You know, all of us. Fucking hell. That's why psychology's so good. That's why I love it. So anyway, and guys, you know, if you're thinking about it as your ego, trace it back. Right? If you want to figure out, okay, how can I trace this back? Okay, first of all, recognize what has annoyed you, or, like, you know, really press that pissed off button inside you. Okay, there's your signal. Or if it's something that you've really got turned on by, well, there's your signal. Right? Go for the extreme feeling behind whatever it was, bad or good. Okay, and say, right, has this ever happened to me before? Like, did someone else call me asshole? Or, you know, if that is your trigger, right? Like, I know one friend, actually, he, like, if you touched his ear, oh dear God, he goes fucking mental. Like, mental. Right? So I don't know what happened to him, but he's got a block in his head about that, and he'll go fucking nuts on you. He wouldn't hit you, but if you did it again after he said don't do it again, he'd go for you. You know? I've got one as well, but I'm not going to mention it just in case anybody's on here and they fucking do it to me one day. But it's amazing, we've all got our things, and you can trace it back to somewhere. I mean, if you really trace it back, you'd be shocked with yourself. You know, and by the way, guys, I even need to keep doing that too. So keep an eye on ego, guys. Keep an eye on that fucking ego of ours. It can be the devil work too. So, guys, thanks for listening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.